uh, character user interface, and there is basically no interface. So I can show a little bit of a hands-on small example of how Terraform can work. Okay, so that will be Terraform is a provisioning tool of DevOps. So that will be on the third week, followed by Ansible. So you can say they are twin sisters. Whichever company is using Terraform is definitely going to use Ansible most of the time. So Terraform being provisioning the infrastructure, and on the infrastructure, once you have uh, implemented the infrastructure through Terraform, what happens is the next stage is your configuration. You have to configure the environment, and the best tool for doing it is Ansible. That we are going to learn on the fourth week. I'm saying week wise, but it may happen that I may end up taking 2 sessions on cloud. Okay, and with some reference to uh, the AI implementation of cloud as well, because since everywhere there is AI, I'm also planning to give you a bit of idea of some of the tools that are good to do with AI, because you cannot avoid using AI over on any of the DevOps tools nowadays. And specifically, this cloud computing has to be the mandatory part of your knowledge. Okay, there is no escaping. And we have selected the most popular one, which is the AWS. And the AWS has flooded its repository with lots of AI-driven tools to help us doing lots of complicated tasks very easily. Similarly, Terraform we will do, and it may end up like I have only allocated 1 week or one session of 2 hours with Terraform, but it may happen that I can end up taking 2 sessions. It depends. There is no hard and fast rule that I have to complete the entire cycle in only 8 weeks or 8 weekends. I usually cannot finish. It generally takes me 10 or 11 sessions. Okay, but that's fine because we are having an internship. Says everything is in our hands, and if you cooperate, if you support, we can extend it. Similarly, is the question of Ansible. Ansible, yeah, Ansible. I will try to make it up in one weekend. So on the fourth week, we can expect to start Ansible, which is a configuration management tool. Whatever infrastructure that you have implemented by now using Terraform will now Terraform and cloud. See, the 3 things I will tell you, which are very, very essential for our knowledge, because it is an introduction to DevOps. For learning DevOps and to start working with DevOps, there is a must. We must know few things. I will come to that. Then on the second half, that is after the 4 sessions, if we divide the 8 sessions into 2 halves, the first half is your introduction to DevOps, cloud, Terraform, Ansible. Okay, so you have created your infrastructure on the cloud using some DevOps tools called Terraform and configured that infrastructure using Ansible. So this comprises of the first half. Second half, it is very, very interesting. What is there? In the second half, on the week 5, if it generally follows 1 week for each of these topics, then on the week 5, we will start Docker. Now, today's world in IT, anywhere, whether you are using AI or using data science or using cybersecurity, anywhere you go, you cannot escape the knowledge. You have to have a quite good knowledge on Docker. Okay, a containerization tool. Then we start with that. We will take a decision whether we will do the 2 sessions on Kubernetes, or we will do 2 sessions or 1 session, maybe 2 sessions on Azure DevOps, that is the CI/CD pipelines. we can end up at that point we will take a call because Kubernetes is a bit. Why Docker? We have learned Docker and we will implement Docker on a larger platform, on orchestration platform. So that's why we learn Kubernetes. So Docker is not complete if we cannot implement Docker over some orchestration tool called Kubernetes. Okay. I have generally devoted 2 sessions for Kubernetes, which is week 6 and week 7. And finally, maybe another 2 sessions on Azure DevOps, the most famous CI/CD pipeline tool that we must know. There are there were other tools like Jenkins, okay, and also a very popular tool is GitLab. But generally, we have now standardized over Azure DevOps, our thing, because many places, many companies uh, are requiring that a student or a particular person who is going to be employed has to have some requisite knowledge on a pipeline, and that pipeline should come from Azure. Azure is a Microsoft product. Azure, I'm not talking about Azure portal or Azure cloud. Like AWS cloud, you have Azure cloud, very, very popular as well, like the Google cloud as well, GCP. But this is a pipeline based on the Azure portal, on top of the Azure portal. We will come to that. So any questions up to this part of the roadmap that we are going to follow? Anyone having some questions? Your question can be anything. It can range to any domain. I will try to answer. So if not, if you do not have, you have more or see the DevOps is almost like completing 7 or 8 years now. Okay, so the initial novelty is no longer there. So people are very much aware of why we should be learning DevOps. And also DevOps is finding a bit of challenge with the AI. So with AI getting introduced in the industry very fast. So what is happening is most of the automation, see, DevOps is mostly for automation. And if your automation is better done with AI, okay, so what will happen is it should be an ideal mix of both the best of the both worlds, like DevOps as well as AI. That will make your automation the most robust one. Only DevOps is not a preferred solution nowadays. DevOps along with AI, if you can mix it up, so therefore it will be the most important and most sought after technology. And that is where the world is leading to, the industry is leading us. But for that, like, you cannot go to graduation or you cannot go to your university if you have not passed your school level exam. You have passed your 10th standard. Unless and until you have completed that part, you cannot simply jump over onto into university. You cannot get admission to university. So that is my stress is, my basic intention is to motivate you to understand and learn DevOps properly. Is that fine? Any questions? Wherever there will be some references to, yeah, tell me.
So can we get the certificate after the completion of this internship?
Your voice is a bit low. Can you be a bit louder?
I'll text on the chat. Is it okay for you?
Still, I'm not being able to hear you. Let me check if you have written any message.
I'll text you on the chat. Can you read the chat?
So, Sriju, right? Sriju, will it be
Yes,
possible for you to?
sir, I texted you on the chat. Can you look at the chat?
Still, I'm not being able to follow you. Maybe
Wait a
my,
second, sir.
I'm not sure whether it is the case with everyone else, but I'm not being particularly able to hear you.
Hello?
I think he said that he has texted you on the chat.
So is that the question from you or is it from Jay? Is the private key shared when the SSH connection is established? Why would you like to share the private key? Private key is a very, very important part of connection, and you should not be sharing it at all with anyone. Yes, the connection has to be established through the key. Without the private or the public key, you will not be able to connect to your EC2 instance or on the cloud. But we will discuss that when we come to the cloud discussion. Is that fine? So you see, certification. Oh, you are talking about the certification, right, Siju?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we will arrange the certificate. But basically, it is a process that you have to follow. We will discuss that certification process afterwards. But this is just the starting of the DevOps journey. So let us not discuss about, because there are minimum 8 sessions still left. And it will be, I am very sure it is not going to be less than 11 or 12 sessions. So we will talk when we are around 8 session, we will talk about certification. Will that be okay? I mean, certificate from this particular internship. You mean that, right? Fine. So let me start with our session topic, which is the introduction to DevOps today. As you know, we will try to cover as much as we can with this introduction. So this is what I will do. I will make it bigger. Are you being able to see the screen, everyone? Anyone, please, I cannot see the background number of people raising hands or anyone writing any messages. I will not be able to see that. So you can you can just let me know whether, just unmute yourself and see. So there are 2 halves. If I can say that this is on the right hand side, this is on the left hand side of this particular cycle. So when we start a project, any software project, we first of all start with a planning. This is the first stage. Okay. Then planning, and then we have to go to this part, which is called design and building. This is the you are implementing the code, okay, or the development. Basically, the coding part starts over here. After you have designed, there is a lot of planning. Is not only planning, there are lots of other things. Coding is not only the code part, but we have made it a particular phase, say code, plan, code, in short words, build, test, release. But there are lots of things within that code, within that plan, within the build. But in general, it is plan. You start with this step. After that, the engineers will design, have the DSDs and workflow diagrams and everything. So UML diagrams for the developers. Okay. Design documents, UMLs for the developer. The developer sits over here. So a requirement will be broken down. A business requirement will be broken down into what? How? A business requirement. A business requirement is broken down into what? So who is giving you the business requirement? The client, isn't it? You are developing a project for the client. So the business requirement has to be broken into what? Has to be converted into? There will be solution architects, designers. They will work on what? On the business requirement and convert it to what? You must be knowing that. Anyone? Technical specification. So it is the requirement specification, business requirement specifications will be broken down into technical requirement or specification. Do you agree? Does it make sense? Because unless and until the business requirements is just like the pain points. What are the problems? What is the business that is they are intended to do? Where they find problems? What should be? They will jot down all the requirements. So it will be broken down into technical requirements by the solution architect, the designers, and maybe with the help of the project manager, the program manager, business analysts. Business analysts play a lot of important part over here. BAs, and then you have the solution architects. Okay. Database designers. So many people will be involved into converting the business requirement into technical requirement or specifications. So after that, what will happen? Tell me. Still, it is not in this form. It cannot be given to the developer. Developer will not be able to decipher anything out of this document. This has to be again converted to what? Certain design documents. Design documents and UML diagrams. There are lots of other diagrams as well. One of the most popular is the UML diagrams. Okay. Sensitivity diagrams is also there. So many other diagrams are there, but a unified model logic or a language is the diagram that is most popular with the developers. Developers knows the function points that they need to develop. I'm talking purely from a software development lifecycle point of view. Okay, function points. That is, they get the raw idea of what the function is intended to be at that point of time. So that these are called function points. There can be hundreds of function points. That is features. The features that need to be developed. These are functions or features. The features of the product features. It can be anything like login features. It can be security features, authentication features, whatever the security features. Then there can be, say, product catalog features. So many things. So there can be a big list. So whatever it is, all will be specified in the UML diagram or sensitivity diagrams. That comes to the developer. Developer will be converting this into what? Through some help of some languages. It can be anything, you can name it. They will codify the entire thing such that these functions or features can be developed. Okay. The third stage is to build it, because now the compilers, the interpreters, everything has to be there. And basically, you know, it is packaged. You can say it is packaged. It is a software package, not a release package. The release package comes over here. Okay, this is a software package. So it is packaged over here. There are various tools. And one of the important tools, let's say if you have developed a code over Java, then it will be packaged into or built into using Maven or Gradle. So many things. So many other package builders are. Okay. After this has been built into some target areas or target packages, these packages will be delivered to, see, we are following some cycle, isn't it? Cycle. So it will come to the testing team. So here there can be some unit testing, UTs. Unit testing is the peer-to-peer reviews and peer-to-peer testings as well between the developers. But here there will be SITs, performance testings, security testings. This is integration testing, soft system integration testing, performance testing or load testing. Okay. Or maybe security testing. So many levels of testings will be there. Finally, they are testing on that particular package which has been built and delivered to testing for testing. There can be tools. Every phase will have tools, automation tools. Okay, we will discuss that. And finally, it will go and it will be finally done a release packaging. The entire thing is a pipeline. You know, we are moving through a pipeline. This is also a property. This is one of the tools of DevOps. Very, very important. So you are doing this automation over the pipeline. That pipeline is going from round and round and round and round. So the pipeline has been taken into the release phase where the pipeline will be will help to package for the release, because that is something that we will learn. So once it is released, comes the deploy. So now you have stepped into operations domain. Development part is over. Okay, it is over after you have done the testing. And if it is 100%, okay, let me change the color. So it has come to this operations part. Once you have released from the development domain into the operations domain with a release package, and then it will be deployed. Deployed, it's a very important term in DevOps or automation or in whatever thing in software. It is deploy. You are going to deploy it where? You are going to deploy it somewhere. That is here some tool, very important tool will come into picture. Docker, Kubernetes, okay, Kubernetes will generally come in the operate phase, but yeah, Docker, you are packaging you are making an image out of the entire release. You are putting that into a container or basically an image of the application.